Welcome to In Case You're Paying Attention. I'm your host, Courtney Webster. I'll just get right to it. Today I want to talk about Betsy Devos. 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 Betsy Devos? Yes. Betsy Devos is our current Secretary of Education in the United States. I won't go too into her past life, personal life, because it's all on Wikipedia, folks. If you want to know more about Betsy DeVos, just get on Wikipedia, pop it up. You can read everything about her family life, her history, her husband, her children, whatever. So, so she's a wealthy person. She comes from wealth. She's married wealth. Fine. She's been controversial from the beginning. She's always been an advocate of private institutions over public institutions. She has never hidden her disdain for public education and even considering it, it a waste. Anyways, Betsy DeVos, in her infinite wisdom as a staunch, kind of like shady, anti-feminist kind of woman that she is, made it harder for survivors of sexual assault, sexual abuse, sexual harassment on college campuses to report the assaults, the abuses, the harassments, to have a clear accountability at the school around whose responsibility it is to follow up on those claims. This made the definition of a sexual assault, harassment, narrower and harder to sort of prove, define. And these are basically rollbacks of Obama-era sexual harassment, sexual assault standards that were placed across the board on colleges. Community colleges, private colleges, public colleges, schools receiving any bit of federal funding. What Betsy DeVos has done by changing these rules and moving them around a bit has made it essentially so that colleges can be less accountable to stopping sexual predators on their campuses. I'm just gonna say that again. What Betsy DeVos has done is made it so that sexual predators have a freer reign to operate on college campuses. Let's talk about some of the reasons why this is a bad idea. We all know that women are much higher chances of being victims of sexual assault, sexual harassment than men. And then there's also a lot of people that are non-binary or trans, and people that fall into those categories tend to have higher rates also of being assaulted and harassed and abused based on their vulnerability and people's knowing that they have less support in communities, they have less support from law enforcement, they tend to not be believed, or they just tend to be ostracized for all the reasons that they don't fit into mainstream society's understanding and idea of what sexuality and gender are. And for those reasons, if you don't fit in a mainstream society, it makes you more vulnerable in society, and people tend to victimize you at a higher rate. This is just all like truth-proven statistics. Now, anywhere they exist, but particularly when they are on college campuses, and not just from other students, but from administrators, professors, coaches, and doctors. I don't know if am I the only one who remembers the case in, oh my God, was it Michigan, the state that Betsy DeVos is from? I think it was the big gymnastics sexual assault. What is the word I'm looking for here? I mean, debacle feels like it's a little too light. Scandal feels like it's a little too gossipy. I guess we would say that it was a multi-decades long cover-up of sexual abuse by a doctor employed by the school and also by USA Gymnastics, which led to, I'm gonna say, upwards of 70 to 80, maybe in the hundreds of mostly girls reporting that he had sexually assaulted them in the course of examining them, some of them in such a way that he convinced them that it was a normal part of the examination or the treatment process, even though they really knew it wasn't, and they knew that they'd been assaulted, and they reported it to their teachers, to their coaches, to their team members, and nothing was done about it for decades, resulting in untold amounts of trauma and pain and suffering to these young women who were in these very rigorous athletics programs, because it wasn't just gymnasts. There was other people in the athletics programs that also suffered at the hands of this doctor whose disgusting name I'm not even going to mention. So that happened very recently. It was a big deal. There's also the Penn State, am I right? Am I wrong? Penn State football coach who was accused of molesting young men in his charge for multiple decades. And the school, lots of people at the school being aware of, being involved with, and again, nobody stopped this person's abuse, this abuse of minors. You know, I think that like if we go digging a little deeper, we're gonna find a lot of cases like this of adults misusing their positions of authority to assault people in sexually violent situations. Okay, we're not even talking about you know, date rapes and intimate partner violence. You know, party things that happen at parties. We're not even talking about that. What Betsy Devos has done is made it so that sexual predators have a freer reign to operate on college campuses. And if you are a victim of sexual assault and you want to stop a sexual predator and you try to go and file various complaints instead of going straight to the police, which you know you could do, but there's a lot of reasons why you might not want to do that, then she's made it harder. She's made it harder for you to do that, and she's made it harder for you to prove. And she's made it easier for the school itself to not have to take definitive, decisive action. Now, I want to be clear because part of